G'day guys, it's Dom here from DB Blades. So I've got a full custom for you today. This is going to be either my 4th or 5th partial tang, and that just means I'm going to be cutting the knife off about here and making it fit into a handle, and that just, cuts out quite a bit of weight and makes my life a whole lot more difficult actually. This is not going to be an easy build. It's going to be what I consider a medium to advanced build, because if I mess up halfway through, there is no fixing it, basically. If I'm shaping the handle, everything's good, and I take a chunk out of the blade, I'm fucked. So that's something I've got to keep in mind, and just go very carefully and very slowly to make everything not be bad. Here we go. So just got that bit cut out, and now I just got to shape the outside of it. I'm not going to bother chopping off this part back here. It's pretty thin stuff. It'll come out easy enough. So you basically just saw me do what a water jet machine would do, and it took me like maybe 5 minutes. So if you're buying a custom knife and the fact that it's water jet is a deal breaker for you, it's not even 1% of the process. I don't use a lot of water jet really because it just doesn't fit into my business, but if I did, it doesn't save that much time, and it's often for me just not worth the hassle of letting another company screw something up. Here I'm using a clamp, and that just helps me, not break any fingers using this. Because this drill press is quite a bit more powerful than me. Have it. 2 nicely drilled, centered, 1/4 inch holes. There. So that tells me that this here is now flat. I'm not going to show you how I did that because it is actually fairly dangerous. But it's flat. And it's parallel, and that just tells me that we're not going to have problems down the road. Because the biggest problem with doing partial tangs is this area right here. If this is not perfectly square, it's going to give you ugly gaps, and it's just going to be a nightmare to do. So this being square means I can butt it up against a square back strap and keep this all good and, not shit. I'm going to put the bevel on this one. This is the first scandi grind I've ever done, so it's probably going to be interesting. Alright, so the knife's grand. You did miss a bit of it because the camera decided to crap out. It is Monday after all. These sort of things have to happen on Mondays. It is the rule of life. But now it's ground in. It's not completely down to nothing because it is got to be heat treated first. But it's close. And after heat treat, I'll make this all perfect and even out the plunges and everything. But right now, I think we're good. can see I'm constantly dunking the knife in water, and I'm running the grind real slow, even on the 120 grit belt. Because especially here, when you're starting to get real close to the edge, it just loves to overheat. And if it does overheat and gets above, I think it's 200 degrees Celsius, you'll actually blow your temper, because the knife itself is tempered at around 200 degrees Celsius. So if you go over that, you're fucked. I mean, you've basically either got to heat treat the knife or throw it in the bin. Unfortunately, most of the time it's the second fucking option. I mean, you seriously, you don't want to fuck up the heat treat, and you really don't want to overheat the steel in this step. It is not good. And there we go. So for these, same thing as the blade. You want them flat. You don't want any of this wavy, rattly bullshit. Actually, this one's pretty flat, but we'll do this anyway, just to be sure. Figure eights, because it kind of helps you even out the pressure, I found. There we go. I'm going to call that good. Ready for the backspacer. So it's no secret this stuff's a bit of a bitch to work with. It stinks really, really bad. I mean, I've got a pretty good respirator, so I don't smell it when I'm working. It'll get into all of your clothes, it'll get into... Your whole shop will smell like it for a few days. It just stinks. Especially canvas micarta, which is this stuff, which is essentially, I mean, just fabric and epoxy, so it's not a pleasant smell. We're definitely putting a respirator on today. We're matched up. Again, you can see I'm a huge fan of templates. Because right now I don't have anything to reference on. Because I have a template, I can draw it on here with a nice fine marker. So this gives you a shitload more consistency than if you're just trying to, you know, freehand it, which works too, but I find this is just a little nicer. You can see, now I know I need to cut all this off, because this is just waste. This is excess that I had, just to be careful, and trim it all down to where I need it. So I'm using dish soap and water for this, which works fairly well, I found. I think Windex works a lot better, and a lot of guys use Windex, but for this, it doesn't make a huge difference for handle work. And this stuff costs bugger all compared to Windex. And we are done. Very, very happy with this. All the pins are perfectly flush. Everything's even. These bevels are totally overkill. I mean, this is way more than you realistically need. I did these on the Japanese waterstone, so I took them up to very high. I'm not sure what my highest waterstone is, but I'm guessing about 20k. I'm not really sure. And a little bit of stropping, and it's got that really nice mirror polished edge. It's going to get scarred up pretty quickly in use, but I thought it was a nice bit of presentation. And it gives you a really nice edge to work with that should, in theory, last a lot longer because it's polished. And I just love that look of the polished edge. Took a very long time though, but I think that's mainly just because it's a scandi. I think I have about an hour's worth of work to get the edge on this from zero. Had a couple of those little cheap Moras go through my hands, and this is so much nicer. It just destroys the paper. It is nuts. Paper's pretty easy. And that was so that's effortless. Oh, there it's binding. As soon as I say it's effortless, it's going to start binding. Jesus. All right. This is what you use phone books for, by the way. It's useless for pretty much anything else. But yeah, it cuts this material great. I've got a little bit of pine here. Scandi grinds are great for bushcraft work. I don't really give a shit about bushcraft, so I'm not really going to comment, but cuts wood all right. I just love the look of that bevel. And if you want a knife from me, my website is going to be in the description. I sometimes have knives on the website, not a lot. Most of the time I'm working on customer orders, and I've got a pretty big back order, so you don't usually see a lot of stuff on the site. Also, if you want a full custom from me, like a custom knife of your design or one of my models, just email me. I'll put the email in the description. And with that, enjoy the photos, and thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it.